Okay, this is Coach Selby here again from StretchExpert.com. I'm the author and owner of StretchExpert.com, and I'm here to share with you many educational bits about stretching and flexibility. And today I want to share with you the reasons for lack of flexibility. One of the main reasons for lack of flexibility is muscle imbalance. So what that looks like is the bicep is actually stronger than the tricep. So that imbalance is normally going to cause some form of injury, or it's going to create lack of flexibility. Usually a lot of athletes pull hamstrings because their quadriceps are stronger, because they're doing a lot of work on their quads and they're not doing enough on their hamstrings. So that would be one reason that people are not flexible, muscle imbalance. Another one is temporary or chronic inability for the joint to move through a range of motion. Basically, that's stiffness. I talk a little bit in some other sites about the importance of diet and hydrating the body so that the joints don't get stiff. Okay? Next, overuse. So a lot of athletes and a lot of desk jockeys use their muscles in only one direction. Okay, and so that causes poor flexibility because they're not increasing the range of motion throughout the whole joint. Okay, so in athletes it's running, stopping, jumping, and changing directions. So we're always moving in one direction, and again we're using a certain set of muscles, and the goal is, yes, to use those set of muscles, but we need to stretch them out so that they have greater blood flow is the bottom line. Next, effects of aging and inactivity. That's another reason for poor flexibility. If you don't use your body, you basically will get stiff and your muscles will atrophy. So you want to use your body and you want to stretch. Next, for young kids, periods of rapid growth, you have growth plates in your knees. And those growth plates tend to get tight. The growth plates are bones. Around those bones are ligaments and tendons and muscles. And those muscles and ligaments tend to get tight, protecting the growth plate. So that leads to poor flexibility. So that in itself would mean you need to stretch. Okay? A lot of young kids wind up having that happen to them. They get growth spurts, so then they get extra height and they get extra weight, throws off their coordination, and they get very stiff. So that's another reason for poor flexibility. Poor range of motion around a joint. A lot of bodybuilders usually have that problem when they're like this. They have no range of motion in their joints, so that leads to stiffness and poor flexibility. And the last one is lack of adequate flexibility causes the stretch reflex to exert force against the desired movement, requiring more energy to overcome the stretch reflex and increasing the possibility of injury. So basically what happens is, I'm using bodybuilders or athletes that are extremely built, because they have one set of muscles that are shortened because they're so large, it creates a stress on the joint, and then that stress on the joint is what leads to poor flexibility. So us here at Stretch Expert, our goal is to teach people how to stretch properly using a 2-second stretch method, and I'll demonstrate right here. Basically, we're stretching the pectorals here. We're stretching the pectorals. We're holding for 2 seconds, okay? And then we're stretching the anterior deltoids right here, and we're using the triceps to open up the biceps, and we're using the rhomboids to open up the pectorals, and we're only holding for 2 seconds. So that's a demonstration. I will give more demonstrations as time develops so that you can learn this system, use this system, and really get higher performance from whatever it is that you're doing. This is Coach Selby from Stretch Expert. Checking out.